With the 8th pick in the 2016 NBA TV mock draft, the Sacramento Kings select Jaylen Brown from Cal. Toronto Raptors are on the clock.
Sometimes you got to wet your whistle out there making those
parts.
Right. From Marietta, Georgia to Berkeley, and now high in the draft.
A very explosive athlete, a considerable talent. But I got to tell you guys, having talked to numerous NBA scouts over the last couple of weeks, not a really good vibe coming out of the Jaylen Brown camp, if you will. Finished the season in horrendous fashion, 10 for 48 over his last 5 games, shot 3 for 17 against Utah. Was awful against Hawaii when they lost. And you hear these quotes from these anonymous GMs saying that he did not perform well in the interview process in Chicago. They describe him as arrogant. You hear some things coming out of Cal. So, for a guy who had a pretty good freshman season and showed the potential to be an NBA-level athlete, certainly is an NBA-level athlete, his understanding of the game and maybe his understanding about what he doesn't understand could be working against him. He's going to be a lottery pick, but more questions about Jaylen Brown, Stu, than I would have anticipated coming into this draft.
Yeah, without question, and I understand that, but if you're any franchise, you have to assess the player that you select on whether or not he fits your culture, and then further to that, assess whether or not he has the ability to change. And, you're not taking a Jaylen Brown on what he is today, but what you think he can be. I mean, he's also a very bright and intelligent young man. He's got some explosiveness. And I have always thought that players coming into the draft, if they have some intelligence both off the floor and a basketball IQ, eventually as they start to understand how they can perform, they'll figure it out. Again, he's another player that is based on having upside. Right. This is not a guy that is ready to play today.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a couple things. Number one, in the tournament game, as you guys know, they had Wallace out, they had Bird out. There were guys not on the floor with him. So I'm not going to put it all on him that they played badly. But he did play badly. There's no question. He didn't play well. As far as the interviews go, I would say beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I think there's some GMs that like people that kind of come back at them and challenge conventional wisdom, and then there's other GMs that want yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, sir, absolutely, I agree with you, sir. And if somebody says, oh, I'm not sure I agree with you, they kind of go, he may be a problem. That happens a lot more than you'd think in this league. So, but he's got a long way to go. This is not a finished product. He is not a, complete player. He shot what red flag to me, a wing player that shoots 29% on threes scares me. Well, now, is he good? Can he get better? Is he getting better? Sure.
And you see these guys, both at the high school level and in college, where they're effective by bullying other guys. Yeah. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. Yeah. Everyone is big, strong, and fast in the NBA, especially at this position. You got to be able to play and shoot and understand the game, and that's where his deficiency.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned his shooting because under the watchful eye of Isaiah Thomas, not easy to please.
Yeah, exactly. You got there.